Hmm. Hello, everyone. Some of you have joined us already, but we're going to wait a few more minutes. We have quite a lot of participants today. So the ones that are already joined, welcome. But we're going to wait a few minutes, then we start. Once again, just because I can see more and more people joining, I'm just giving you a heads up that we appreciate your time. Thank you for joining us, but we have quite a lot of people joining us still. So I'm going to wait maximum 2 more minutes, and then we're going to start. Okay, everyone, let's get started. We're still expecting more participants to join us, but these sessions are also recorded. So for the ones that are joining, they will be able to see and hear the whole session. We appreciate your time. As I mentioned, welcome. This is our first focus webinar of the year. It's our third in number, and we actually, when we're looking at the participants, many of the customers that have been in the previous two are joining us here as well. We appreciate that. I'm going to, at the end of these sessions, we're going to put the surveys, and the survey are super critical for us to understand a little bit better if you like the session, if you appreciate what we're doing, if there's some suggestions for revisions, for changes, for additions that we can do in these webinars, we will appreciate those. So the survey will be at the end, but let's just get started. The main idea behind these webinars is super simple. We trying to get closer and closer to our customers, cover all the essential topics in global workforce management, and also showcase what's new at Papaya. This is something that we're doing consistently, not just in webinars, but also in webinars. So this is an example of the things that we are doing these days, and the product team will also present some of the content, as you will see soon. Today's webinar will focus on the product updates across the onboarding and payments. There will be multiple topics that we will cover, including the enhancement and design for improved visibility and control, and help our customers scale with less manual work. Just a quick presentation of the participants. We will have multiple presenters today. Briefly about myself, I'm heading all the account management teams in EMEA. But the session today, the webinar, will be covered by the product team, starting with our CPO, Amit Levi. We have Yael Hasid, Shai Shmuel, and Nir Horowitz. Each one of them will present themselves, and they will do a demo and cover the parts. Briefly about the agenda, even though you're going to see it later on, we have 3 topics that we'll cover today. Amit will start, our CPO will start presenting some of the topics that we will cover and a little bit about the product updates in general. But altogether, we will focus on 3 different topics, and you can see them in front of you: how to launch a new payroll project, how to generate the setup tasks, due dates, and quick wins, and keeping onboarding moving, collaborate, reuse details, onboard workers in parallel with clear status tracking. And the last and final topic will be to fund the payroll smoothly, the wallet transfers, and direct debit to stay on track. Interesting topics for you today. Let's start with our CPO, Amit Levi, to you.
Thank you, Amir, and thanks everybody for joining us. This is an exciting webinar, as Amir said, first webinar of the year, first focus webinar of the year, and exactly how we call this series. This is focus. We want to touch upon specific capabilities that we're releasing to you. And before we start, I just wanted to come in and thank you all for working with us very closely throughout the last year to build and design this product. We see 2025 was an amazing year for Papaya, and really a tremendous year for this world of workforce and workforce payments. We see companies that are challenged more and more by scale, by managing huge global workforces. And we want to be as close as possible with that as we can to you, our clients. Over the last year, we've met dozens of you to define and design many of the features that we're talking about later in this session, and other features that we've yet to uncover. We're very grateful for your participant, and we welcome each and every one of you to share with us your needs, your challenges as you grow globally. We know that this goes with many questions in many cases, with many challenges, and we're here to support you in this journey. We over this last year we created a lot of we added a lot of capabilities to the system to make it more self-service, to give you more control, to allow you of more flexibility. And today we're going to focus specifically on how can you onboard a new project or a new location to Papaya easily, and the different capabilities and framework that we've created to help you in this journey. We invested a lot in worker experience, so how to onboard a new worker to Papaya and what will a new worker of you see when they onboard to you via Papaya. And of course, as we go globally, we see there's also a lot of need, a growing need in handling funds smartly. And we're going to share some of the tools that we introduced in order to handle your funds more wisely. For those of you that don't know, we maintain an open roadmap. We have our roadmap in the knowledge base that's available for you guys. And we're always looking forward for your feedback on your thoughts as to the different features that we roll out and your needs. 2026 is going to be exciting. We have lots of things that we're baking, and they're amazing, and we can't wait to share those with you in the following webinars throughout the year. And with that, let's move to the real deal. We have some of the best product managers in Papaya here to share with you the different things that we're rolling out. So Yael, please take it from here.
Thank you very much, Amit, for that lovely introduction. Hi, everyone. As Amit mentioned, I'm Yael. I'm a product manager, and I'm going to talk about project onboarding. I'm going to start off the discussion about onboarding, but I think we all need to acknowledge, we know onboarding is hard. Onboarding a new system is not the greatest thing that you are looking for in Papaya, right? Some of you are new customers, some of you are veterans. Whether you are new, whether you are not, we know it's a full-time job on top of your full-time job. And this is why we really focused on improving and enhancing your experience and making it as smooth as possible. As Amit said, we don't want this process holding you back from scaling. So here it is. Here's what we've done. Before kind of diving into project onboarding, I want to talk about the 3 levels in the next slide of onboarding to Papaya. So many of you have already done the customer onboarding process. This is mostly integrations. You talked about this in the previous webinar. This is everything you need to onboard as a customer. And then we have the project level, which I will talk about in a second. This is the entity or project level onboarding. And finally, we have the worker level, which Niv will talk about. But the thing that you need to understand about this, it's happening in parallel. It's not a waterfall. You can work on them at the same time, different stakeholders. Nothing will hold you back. There are no blockers here. Moving on specifically to project onboarding, which I will talk about today in the next slide. So I will talk a little about what we see on the slide and mostly show you in the demo. But the thing you need to know here, some focus here. You will each have a task list. We call it a task list, but basically it's everything your site needs to provide in order for us to take over and to onboard you in the best possible way. You still have your Papaya team with you. You still have our support, but you can be independent in the platform. This will go a long way for you in the process. So I'm going to go ahead and start sharing, because that's the
interesting. While you're sharing, I will just say to the participants that you can ask questions on the Q&A section. Just type them in the Q&A section that you have of the webinars, and we will relate to them later on. Please go ahead, Yael.
Thank you, Amina. Yeah, good point. So you have started onboarding to Papaya, or you just added this new project, you have a new entity. Once you are signed with Papaya, the project is immediately available on the platform. And not only that, according to the project definitions, you will have this tailor-made onboarding list. It will be from 3 tasks to 8 tasks, but no more than that. And this is the immediate thing is very important. Why? There are 2 scenarios. First off, you have this new project that you want to onboard right away, because the start date is a month away, 2 months away. So you can just go in and start working. You don't need to wait to the kickoff call, which will come, don't worry. But you can start, just read the instructions and start filling out everything you can. This will give you really some certainty about the project and no dependency there. So that's one scenario. The second scenario can say, okay, you have 6-7 months to onboard, but still, again, talking about onboarding, having this full-time job on top of your full-time job, having the time to decide whenever you want to go in and start onboarding and just, complete a specific task, go ahead. Nothing is stopping you. Don't need to wait for a conversation. You can do it on your own time. This gives you the freedom and the control that you need. You have this visibility. Let's just go over the page for a second. So each project that is in setup mode will look a bit different from your regular view of a project. On the top, you can see all the details of that specific project, who's the partner, what's the cycle, the start date. And here on the support and resources, you will also see your onboarding team. And you can submit a request directly to your team from here. Not only that, you have all the relevant resources from our extended knowledge base specific to that specific project. So you have that right here. And here you have 3 tabs, which I will talk about in a second, but let's start with the setup tasks. So the tasks, as I mentioned, you can have up to 8 tasks, but some of them can take maybe 2-3 minutes tops, okay? So some of that are really, really simple. Some are more complex. But for those who are more complex, you have a draft mode. So you can just start working on them. They will move to in progress, and then you can complete them whenever you can. We know that some projects are very similar to each other. So in some tasks, you are able, for example, right here, to apply details from different projects. So you don't really need to even start working on anything. You just apply the details, and it will fill out, and you can submit it. You don't need to do the double work. So that's one example for the simpleness of the onboarding list. Secondly, everyone in your team that has permission to view the project can see the entire project task list, but only the ones with the relevant permissions can actually go in, fill it out, and complete it. This, we hope, will encourage collaboration, visibility within your internal teams, so you will know exactly where you stand. As you might have seen, each task has a due date. Why do you have due dates? It is calculated back according to the project start date, and that's there to guarantee that everything is submitted on time so you can go live in the best way possible, smoothly. Okay, we know how much time we need to process the data. So having everything on time gives you the certainty that we will go live and everything will be all right. Prioritize your work. So you might be onboarding a few projects at the same time. So if I go back here and see the entire project list, and let's say I have some projects in onboarding, here in the status, so you go into Papaya and you say, whoa, where do I start? I have 10 projects that I'm onboarding. Here you will see the most upcoming due date. So you can decide to go in and start working on that specific project, because this is the one that I need to work on. So we really wanted to help you prioritize and make it as simple as possible. A word about this, as I mentioned, everything can happen in parallel. You don't need to wait until you have completed all of the tasks to onboard your workers. Here in the Workers tab, you will see all the workers that you have onboarded to that project. So no worries there. And Neve, as I mentioned, we'll talk about onboarding workers in a second. Now, to complete the onboarding, so everything is ready and the project is live. And so the list here will be removed. Okay, you will not see it anymore. But everything you have set up has not disappeared. So worry not. You can still see it under project settings. It's right here. And it will become available once the tasks are completed. So you can see everything there. Everything that is project level documentations that you might have filled out in local information and documentation or partners compliance, you will see it in related files. So maybe you need to, go back to specific entity level files. You can find them here. They are not cycle related as they used to right now. They're in this very centered place and available for you and for our partners. I want to wrap things up and say, if you have multiple projects that you are onboarding at this, and you will have the same experience. Just like you have, in the payroll cycle, you have 4 steps. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. So we want to have the same, very similar experience right here. So each onboarding, each time you onboard another project, it will become more familiar and easier, hopefully. Our goal is to create project onboarding process and make it the frustration as little as possible. We got some feedback saying, I'm worried I missed something. It's too simple. So I hopefully soon enough, you will feel the same. I'm here for any questions, and I'm bringing it back to you, Amir. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Yael. We are moving to the next presenter. That's Neve. Now we're doing the EOR and payroll worker onboarding.
Thank you very much, Amir. Yael, the project onboarding process is really seamless and streamlined, and it's a great foundation for what comes next. Worker onboarding. So hello, everyone. I'm Levi, Senior Product Manager at Papaya Global, and today I'll guide you through the worker onboarding process. Next slide, please. So when we talk about worker onboarding, we're really talking about the moment where everything needs to come together. Before payroll can run, the right information has to be in place, the right data and the right documents collected exactly according to each worker local requirements. Getting those details right early sets the foundation for a smooth onboarding process here in Papaya. And this is also where a lot of pressure tends to sit, right? For you and your team, the challenge is confidence and visibility, knowing whether the onboarding was actually completed correctly and whether all the country-specific requirements were truly covered. And for workers, especially those who aren't technical, onboarding can feel overwhelming. They want to do the right thing, but they don't want to guess what applies to them or to worry they missed something important. So here at Papaya, we set up to create a country-specific onboarding experience that's easy for workers to follow while giving you and your internal teams clear visibility and confidence that everything required is in place. Next slide, please. So how it works in practice. Let me walk you through how worker onboarding works from the worker perspective and how you and your teams have the clear visibility throughout the process. Sharing my screen. Good. So everything starts with an automated invitation. The worker receives an automated email inviting them to Papaya Personal, our worker portal. They set up their password very easily and complete the registration and taking straight into the onboarding home screen. Right away, the worker sees a clear list of tasks they need to complete. Each task is simply a set of fields the worker needs to fill in. At the top, we have the progress bar that shows the worker the progress towards completion. So it's immediately clear what's left and where we're actually standing in that process. So let's start with the contact details task, the first task the worker has to complete. So here, as I mentioned, the fields are country specific and adapt automatically to the local requirements. So workers don't need to worry about what applies to them. There's no need to understand compliance or regulations to complete this correctly. One important thing to mention is that everything is saved automatically. Workers don't need to complete onboarding in one sitting. They can pause at any point and come back to it later, exactly where they are left. And once the task is done, moving forward is very clear and intuitive. The worker simply clicks on continue to the next task, and the flow guides them through the process step by step. Here, I would like to pause for a second on the bank details task. Here, the platform uses a country-specific validation and guide the worker to make sure the worker information is being entered correctly. So if something went wrong, we are clearly flagging it for the workers, and so the workers can fix it before payroll is running. So for workers, the experience is straightforward and guided. They get immediate feedback. They know what they are doing right. So eventually, this means confidence that payments won't be delayed because of simple typos here. This is a very important aspect that we have here in the bank details section. So let's move on to another key task here, which is the additional information task. This is where workers upload required by local regulations, such as IDs, documents, or insurance details, depending on the country regulation. So we are just asking the workers for what is needed, nothing more, nothing less. We don't want to overwhelm the workers. Eventually, when all the tasks are done, the worker reaches the final confirmation step. They approve the consent down below here, and they click on the submit button, and that basically completes the onboarding process. Very easy, right? So now, after reviewing the worker experience, let me show you how you and your teams can actually monitoring the onboarding side on your side. So let's move on to our platform. Under the People tab, as you can see here, we have the worker onboarding page, okay? This page gives you a clear view of onboarding status across your payroll workforce, all in one place. You can quickly see who's been invited, who is still completing the onboarding, and who's already finished without needing to chase updates or dig into individual profile. The status is simple, actionable, so it's immediately clear where attention is needed and where things are moving smoothly. Let's go back to the slides, please. Awesome. So as mentioned before, when you pull it all together, onboarding becomes something you can rely on. Workers have a clear, intuitive, country-specific flow that respects their time and removes uncertainty, and you get the visibility and confidence that onboarding is complete and aligned with the local requirements. So as I wrote here, with Papaya, worker onboarding is not something you have to manage. It's something you can trust here in Papaya. Thank you very much. Back to you, Amir.
Thank you very much, Niv. We are moving on to our last presenter for today, Shai, speaking about wallet-to-wallet and direct debit payments.
Hi, everyone. I'm Shai Shmuel, a product manager for payment. First of all, I want to thank Yael and Niv for a very interesting session. It was interesting to hear both of you talking about onboarding. And I want to take the next few minutes to talk about something else but onboarding, about the funding solution, which is a challenge that we hear a lot from our customers. The first solution I want to present is the wallet-to-wallet solution that gives you a way to transfer funds between your own wallets in Workforce, easy, fast, fully compliant and transparent, in order to boost liquidity in your wallets. This is available for you in your Workforce platform, but it is not available for all users, only for admin users. And I would like to present a short demo now, Amir, if it's okay. Okay. So first of all, you need to choose the relevant wallet you want to transfer funds from. After you are clicking the three dots here, you need to choose transfer funds to another wallet. Here you see the list of wallets you are allowed to transfer funds into, but the ones you are not allowed are in gray and are forbidden to transfer for. You will see the relevant information regarding the wallet you are transferring funds out of. Choosing another wallet, clicking continue, you will see all relevant details regarding the wallet you are transferring from and to. Choosing the amount you want to transfer. By clicking continue, you will see all relevant information regarding the currencies, exchange rate if there are any, confirm and transfer, and in a second, immediately, the funds will be transferred to the other wallet. This gives you liquidity and a fully transparent process to transfer funds from your wallet. Amir, you can share your screen again, please. Perfect. So the second thing I want to talk about today is the solution for direct debit, which is a term I'm sure you're all familiar with. But we are talking about direct debit, use direct debit to add funds to your wallet, to your workforce wallet, which is also a big challenge we identify by listening to our customer, by talking to our customers. Today, in order to have funds to your wallet, you need to go to your bank account, to have a bank transfer from your bank account, from your company's bank account, specifically to the specific wallet needed funds. We are changing it with direct debit in 2 steps, just 2 steps. You will have access from your workforce to add funds directly from your bank account, company's bank account, to the wallet. It was also a challenge we hear very strongly from our customer, and this solution will solve it. You will always have enough funds in your wallet in order to pay salaries on time and to keep you on track. The way that it works in 2 steps, just 2 steps. The first one, you need to initiate the direct debit, to set up the direct debit to your organization, to add all relevant details and documentation for our team to review. After our team will approve the direct debit, we will automatically set up the direct debit. Amir, you can click the next slide, please. And another one as well. Thank you. After our team will approve it, you will automatically, direct debit will start working behind the scene for every payroll cycle to have enough funds in your wallet. The first funding will be the one that comes after the salary update, meaning after the salary update is being uploaded, funds will be pulled from your bank account directly to your workforce wallet. And once payroll summary is approved, if needed, extra funds will be added also to your wallet. That gives you full way to control this, because once you approve the salary up or the payroll summary, funds will be taken from your bank account. Every direct debit funding will take around 6 business days because of our provider JP Morgan regulation and rules. And we are also protect this direct debit by rules and permissions. Not everybody will have access to initiate direct debit or to create direct debit. And we have a manual way to add funds to your wallet using direct debit as well. I will present my screen now. And you'll be able to see a short demonstration about direct debit. Perfect. So, not as a wallet-to-wallet transaction. And this solution is still in progress, and we still didn't release it to all of our customers. We're still working on it. But if you wish to have one to add direct debit to your Aero wallet, Aero SEPA wallet, please contact your account manager. First of all, you need to choose the relevant wallet you want to add direct debit to. Set up funding. This is the first step, just to initiate the direct debit, just to set up the direct debit process for the specific wallet. Once you're clicking set up funding, you'll see this box with all relevant information needed in order for you to complete this process, the direct debit process. After you will enable auto funding, you will see a message here in this screen of the wallet that presents you that your direct debit request is being confirmed by Papaya's team. Once it's confirmed, you will see another message confirming the direct debit, and you will get an email notification that your direct debit has been approved, and you need to fill more information here. Clicking add bank details, and you will need to add your bank details that the money and the funds will be pulled out of in every cycle. Once complete filling all information, we will perform a short penny test in order to make sure we are funding the right account with the right details. Again, a box, so we'll make sure all relevant information is there and all information is the right one. Once confirming, the direct debit is pending approval by approving the penny test. Once the penny test is approved, the direct debit will automatically start working behind the scenes, meaning every funding and every payroll cycle, funds will be pulled from your bank account directly to this specific wallet. using direct debit in 2 steps. First one at the salary update, and the second one in the payroll summary once you approve the payroll summary. So it's in your hands, your control. You have another way to add funds using direct debit, which is the manual way. If you don't have enough funds, or meaning if you have like other payments out of the cycle or payments that you need to pay that we didn't consider as part of the cycle, you can always add funds using the request fund button with direct debit as well. Just choosing the amount. And that's it. And within 6 business days, you will see the funds land in your specific wallet. You will see status here change every time you're requesting funds or every time you're completing fund. For example, I just presented you a manual direct debit for 10,000 euros, which is pending review. Once it is completed, it will be changed to complete. And this is how the magic works.
Thank you very much, Shai. I'm moving to the Q&A section, but I just a few notes for the participant. I saw that a lot of people joined a bit later, so just highlighting a few things again. This is our first focus for the seminar for the webinar for the year. So there will be others, and we can really appreciate the survey. You'll get a survey at the end. If you can fill it up for us with feedback, that would be great. We will cover some questions today. We have quite a few, but I'm covering only some of them. But the ones that are unanswered, you can send them, of course, afterwards. We will answer them all, also to your account managers, and we will cover them. But just a few questions that I will still highlight here. Let's go by the order of the 3 presenters, starting with Yael. So 2 questions for you, Yael. Let's start with the first. What happens to the onboarding tasks after the onboarding ends?
Well, everything, as I mentioned, it's saved, and then you can see it in the project settings or the related files.
Appreciate that. What will happen if I will create a wallet on the wallet page instead of the onboarding page?
Oh, good point. So some of the things will appear in other places in the platform. For example, billing settings, wallets. If you have set it in the wallets page, it will be marked as done in your onboarding task. So no worries, it's synced. I saw 2 more questions in the chat. I'm just, if you want me to reply on them.
Yeah, that would be nice. We have 1 more question from the chat, exactly.
All right, so we have how to create setup tasks. No need. You will get them automatically because they should be available right away when the project is in setup, which leads me to the second question that says, I don't see my onboarding tasks. So if the project is in setup and payroll, it should be there. If it's not there, you can contact your implementation team. They just can generate it in the click of a button. So just ask them and it should be available right away.
Fantastic, yeah. Thank you very much. I'm moving to Niv. Niv, we have 2 questions for you. Starting with the first, how long does onboarding usually take, and how do workers experience the process?
So onboarding typically takes just minutes to complete when a worker has all the required documentation in place. We found it very streamlined. And overall, the feedback from the worker has was very, very positive. Regarding the second question that you had, if something was missing, so this is exactly why onboarding is country specific by design. The system knows what's required based on the worker country and service type and guides the worker through everything that's needed. So for workers, that means no guessing, as I mentioned. For you and the customers, eventually it means confidence that onboarding is complete with all the local requirements covered. So no need to worry about it. I see here in the chat 1 more question. Is the invite sent to the worker expiring after a certain time? If they don't complete their onboarding on time, what can be done to resend the invite? So the expiration date of the invite is 7 days. If the invite is being expired, then we've recently launched a feature which allows you and your team to re-invite the worker. Once you will click it through the project page, you go into the worker and click re-invite. A re-invite will be sent to the worker, and the worker will just need to follow the onboarding process as I presented earlier. I see another question from Neil. How long does the onboarding link remain active? So as I mentioned, the link is active for 7 days, and you can re-trigger it in case it is expired through the Workforce OS.
Fantastic, Niv. Thank you very much. Moving to a few questions to Shai. Shai, first question for you, direct debit related. How can we track and monitor the direct debit activity, and where can we see the upcoming or completed funding events?
Perfect. So it is all available in the wallet itself. We will have a section specifically for direct debit. Once you will set up a direct debit, the screen will add in the screen the upcoming events regarding direct debit, and we will also adding a report regarding direct debit that will present all upcoming payments, all the payments that we already done, failed if we will have any. This is all presented in Workforce.
Fantastic, Shai. Thank you so much. Last question we have for today, wallet to wallet, also for you, Shai. Are there any restrictions when transferring funds between the wallets?
Yes, so there are compliance restrictions we are forcing within this process. We are allowing to transfer funds between wallets that are restricted with the legal entity that can receive them. Wallets that cannot be transferred to are blocked from receiving their funds.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. So on behalf of all the presenters, we are saying thank you for you to join this webinar. We have already added the survey for that feedback that we are seeking from you. We will appreciate any feedback you will send us. That's also how we improve for the next one. There will be additional ones consistently, different topics. So we are saying thank you for joining us today, and see you next time.